Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up and Rye. I appreciate you like always holding down the pod as I get over this bad sinus trouble. Of course, you had it too, so we appreciate everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ryan, we have some big last check-ins coming up in March, but as for the regular season, arguably the biggest last check-in of the year of the season. We'll go over score predictions and who we think is going to win this big game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Ryan, Camila Cardozo was the big name on this team at one time, and I'm talking about South Carolina. But now with her gone, still it doesn't seem like a problem. UConn has dropped five of the last six meetings against this team, with the overtime winner against South Carolina coming February of 2021. So since 2021, and Ryan, that was in overtime, 63-59 win in overtime. Since that 2021 victory that UConn has had against South Carolina, they just haven't been able to solve their troubles.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the one we've been waiting for, circled it on the calendar for a long time now. Of course, we actually talked about going down to South Carolina, down to Columbia to go to this game, but of course we decided to go back to Connecticut. Last matchup between these two was February 11th of last year. South Carolina won by 18 points on their home court. The Gamecocks have won the past four matchups, the last 4 years in a row. The Huskies' last win, like you mentioned, was a little over 4 years ago. So I think it's about time for a change in this series. It's about time for UConn to show up when the lights are the brightest, for our superstars to shine bright and to play like superstars. We know it's going to be a loud, tough environment in Columbia. UConn has no more excuses. They should be prepared for these kind of games by now. So it's about time to go out and get a statement win. Let's talk about the fourth ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. They're 23 and 2. They lost to number one UCLA, and they lost the last week to Texas, which was their first conference loss in quite some time. However, both of those losses did come on the road. Of course, we already know, obviously, this roster is stacked, and hats off to Coach Dawn Staley for building this program up for really the past 7 years now. They've won two championships in the last 3 years, and last year they pulled off the undefeated season. And this season, they're led by standout freshman Joyce Edwards. She was highly ranked recruit. She's definitely been living up to that this year. Malaysia Fulwiley was a standout freshman last year for this team, and she's having another great season. Fifth-year senior Tahina Paopao really tore up UConn, especially with the three ball beyond the arc last year. Chloe Kitts finally got her opportunity to be a starter, and she's done well in the post this year for the Gamecocks. And there's so many other names as well, like Raven Johnson, Tessa Johnson, Bree Hall. There's so many different ways this team can beat you. All these players can have their moment and go off at any time. There's so many offensive threats on this team. It's going to be hard to limit them all, but if UConn doesn't allow a lot of open threes, no easy drives to the basket, they might have a shot. You just can't allow South Carolina to tear you up. I hope at least UConn makes them earn it and plays tough defense the whole way through.
All right. Well, this is news to you, I guess. You're gonna come at the screen with big eyes, right? Well, I kind of want to talk a little bit more than usual on this podcast, and that's no surprise. That's what Phil does, right? Well, maybe extend it 12, 15 minutes. But hey, look, all jokes aside, I really do hope that UConn comes out on top in this game, first of all. I really do. I want to thank you again for your great last check-ins, your game recaps. I'm going to make every effort I can to make it on with you, period, point blank, even during the off season. Every video, no more calling and saying, Ryan, I need you to go on by yourself. No, So anyway, I appreciate all your hard work. Look, Not only that, Ryan, how do you feel about this? First of all, we need the country to believe. We believe. I like how you started off your analysis of this game on Sunday. You said no more excuses. It's not like years past where we have all these injuries, and I talked to you about it, right? And I want everybody else to give us some feedback about this. Comment away, and I want to shout out to our beautiful subs, Ryan. The sub number just got up to 2.66 thousand subscribers. So let's try to get that number up to 2.67, like Ryan says. But look, what do you take away from this? Because first of all, we believe that the UConn Huskies can do it on Sunday. Not only that, I think you said it right. What else needs to happen? We're so deep in the season. Finally it's time for a ranked win. What else needs to happen for this lineup, this rotation to try to I just don't get it. Like, and you said it, we're believing. So I don't want to make it sound like we're hammering the team down like, oh my God. But what else needs to happen for it to actually happen?
Well, I think we talked about consistency a lot throughout the season, and UConn, that's one of the things they've really struggled with, it seems like, is to make it come together for all four quarters, and they've definitely had their moments in some of these games where it has come together, but obviously it hasn't happened, unfortunately, in any of these ranked games. So hopefully it can happen on Sunday. But I just think it might be as simple as everything clicking at the same time. Of course, we do have a couple injuries now with Ice Brady and Morgan Shelley, but it really shouldn't matter too much. Like we both said, there's really no more excuses at this point, this late in the season. We have all of our stars out there on the court. Starting lineup is still intact, and we obviously have some studs coming off the bench as well. So, I think obviously we always talk about quick starts, especially on the road. I'm sure it's going to be a sold out crowd. Obviously, very loud South Carolina fans in Columbia. So, I think UConn just needs to stay calm and they need to stay confident at the same time as well and just put a complete game together for all 40 minutes. And hopefully, obviously, we're hoping we can come out on top, but it's definitely not going to be easy.
All right, let's jump over to some comments, Ryan. BRN Soldier said, "Hey, Phil and Ryan, great game from AZ. A good game overall. A big concern that I have noticed. Why does Jana keep bringing the ball down low as a big? You have to keep the ball high. Every time she does it, it's taken away."
Yeah, I agree with that. It's pretty obvious when you do watch the games that she definitely does make some mistakes, and I know she said she's not quite where she would like to be at this point in the season in terms of her progression. But I'm confident for next season. She can definitely learn a lot during the off season. But of course, we're not done with this season yet, and there's obviously still a little time to improve. But there's definitely been some bumps in the road for Jana this season. We definitely thought she would be one of the X factors on this team. Not having a terrible season by any means, but she's one of the players, like I said during the recap, we need her to play like a really big center down low, and that's going to go a long way in terms of the rebounding for this game. South Carolina's a pretty big team down low as well, so we're definitely going to have to handle our own in terms of getting the rebounds, and Jana is going to be a big part of that.
Just me said, thanks, Ryan. I hope Phil gets well soon. I appreciate it. I'm here. That's all I can ask for, right, Ryan? AZ was great tonight. She'll need to do the same against South Carolina. I hope Chelly comes back soon. It's good to see Aubrey back in action.
Yeah, you know what? Whether it's gonna be AZ or Paige or Sarah, maybe Ashlyn or KK coming off the bench, somebody's gonna have to step up and have a really big game. It doesn't have to be a career high in points, but we need, a 20, 25 point game out of one or two players to really step up and take the reins and just shoot the lights out on Sunday. And another player is Aubrey Griffin. We knew she was going to be really big whether she's coming off the bench or, probably not going to start. She's going to continue to come off the bench, but hopefully she continues to get a lot of minutes. But she's going to have a really important role in the game on Sunday, getting around 15 minutes or so, I would assume. But just her ability to come in, bring the energy, fight for the rebounds. She obviously has a really big role in this game as well.
Stevie Kinsey said, I'm worried that since AZ just shot the lights out, she won't have gas in the tank for South Carolina on Sunday. I hope she can prove me wrong. Rebounding and acting as though they wanted the ball was much better. Sarah couldn't really get going, but maybe she's saving it all for South Carolina. I like it, Ryan. So many comments have it. It's been a down year considering ranked games. We know all about that, but yet they're still hyped, and we are too. I can feel it. Now our predictions might not line up, but I can feel it.
Well, you got to stay positive. That's the only thing you can do. And, we know UConn can do it. You still got to believe. We've picked them to win most of the ranked games this season. And, we've both been pretty confident that I feel like the team has had a lot of confidence, a lot of momentum. And even though they lost another one last week to the Volunteers, I still feel like they have a decent amount of momentum and confidence going into this game. But yeah, I certainly do hope that AZ saved a couple points for this game on Sunday.
All right, here we go. This is a big one, and like you say, we've been looking forward to it all season long. What do you have? Who wins this one? Actually, I think the pressure's on you, to be honest, because usually you never tell me this. I know what you're going to say. Maybe you'll fool me. I don't know, but I'll take it this way. Do you want me to go first? Usually, I never take it that far.
Yeah, let's switch it up. But yeah,
All right,
let's have you go first. Yeah.
let's switch it up. I might as well look at the history of this matchup while I have it in front of me. Ryan, I think for the first time this year. Now, hopefully I'm wrong, but our subs and our watchers, our subscribers, our viewers, they have to understand we're just going with straight up what we think the outcome's going to be. All right. Because I know we've gotten some negative comments before about, well, why are you on a podcast if you're not going to go with UConn all the time? Look, that's sports. All right. UConn will lose. I believe UConn will lose on Sunday. I am very sorry, but a close one. I think they stick around with South Carolina for a while. Ryan, I will take South Carolina winning on Sunday. Final score 78 to 64. 78-64. South Carolina over UConn.
Well, UConn's going to have to shoot at a high level, including from beyond the arc. We definitely need a good game. It hasn't happened yet from three against any of these ranked games that we've lost. If UConn wants to win, they're going to have to shoot a great performance from three. Getting rebounds, forcing turnovers is a must as well. Believe it or not, I think I have, and I think you probably have too. I think we've picked UConn for every single game this season, but I think we're both going to agree on this one. I'm not going to pick UConn in this game. Hopefully, they prove me wrong. I'm going to say South Carolina 85, UConn 79. Pretty close game.
All right, and that leaves everybody to drop their score predictions in the comment section below. And Ryan, I will see you right back here on Sunday evening for hopefully not a sad recap, but a very, very strong winning game recap because they need this one bad, as you know, to for a little bit of belief and a little bit of momentum going into March. Phil and Rye on Listen Up.